Hello, I'm attorney Thomas Burton, and today's question is the following. Does Wisconsin have a transfer on death deed? And the answer is yes. Wisconsin adopted a transfer on death deed a few years ago, and you can now use them to leave real estate to your heirs upon your death. This tool was first popularized in Texas, where it was sometimes called a ladybird deed. Here we call it a transfer on death beneficiary designation, and it must be signed and recorded with the Register of Deeds in order to be effective. So it's not enough to just sign the deed. Like some deeds, signing is effective, but with this deed you also need to make sure it gets recorded before your death. And I recently did this with a client, and I made sure that we got it recorded right away, because if you're in a situation where you're thinking this could happen quickly or end of life planning, you want to make sure to get it recorded. And that's a little different than some other deeds where it's effective when you sign it. It's a good idea to record it, but in this case you want to get it recorded. Now, to record the deed, you need to sign it in front of a notary or in front of with your lawyer, someone like me who knows your signature. And then we can record the deed with the Register of Deeds. They will charge $30 filing fee to record it, and the great thing is no transfer return is required, which is the complicated state tax return the state requires to be filed on almost all real estate transactions. Especially when you buy and sell real estate, they want to collect that transfer tax. But even when you gift property, sometimes you have to fill this out, and it's a really long, complicated online form that you must fill out online, and if you don't, the Register of Deeds won't record your deed. But with this deed, the great thing is you don't need to file the transfer return. You simply write a check for $30 to Register of Deeds, include it with the deed, mail it to the Register of Deeds in the county where the property is located, and they will record it and return it to you. Now, to draft the deed, you need to work with a licensed attorney, because they are the only people who are legally licensed to draft deeds in the state of Wisconsin. And this is important so that they get the legal description correct on the deed. But in short, a transfer on death deed can be a great planning tool to avoid probate at death. However, I don't recommend them in situations when you're leaving real estate to multiple beneficiaries, because from my experience, what I've seen, this can lead to problems after you're gone. Joint ownership of real estate is often just asking for problems, and if people become joint co-owners, there's no one in charge to administer the real estate. That's why if you have significant real estate, I prefer using a trust, where you pick the trustee who's responsible to administer the real estate after your death, and then distribute the proceeds according to your plan, or divide the real estate according to the plan you put down in writing. But just leaving a piece of real estate to 7 people as joint owners is, in my opinion, a recipe for trouble. It can lead to creditor problems, other issues with not being able to decide what to do with the property, holdout problems, etc. So while a transfer on death deed is a great tool, consider it carefully and discuss it with your lawyer before proceeding. Great question, and thank you for asking.